Ow. Oh, that's wrong. That's Here we go. All right, so what was I doing here? Well, so let's take a quick look. I did say I was gonna cut scope here, but what I want to do before I cut scope, I want to take a quick investigation. Also gonna have to rebuild this. So let me rebuild my production version, quote unquote, on the other screen here. My timer. Ooh, it's chilly. It's chilly. It's chilly today. There we go. This computer takes so long to build. Crazy how much the difference that CPU makes. Okay. So what we're gonna do here. Oh, deleting I think is also bugged, right? So we have this S and SATIF. Let me go like this. Let me just check here. No, they don't get deleted. So let me add that to my list of things to do. Fix broken deleting on tasks. That might just be as simple as there's like a missing call to file writing. Other thing I want to do is investigate quickly. I only do one Pomodoro for that. Investigate quickly why switch task doesn't work. And if we can't figure it out, we're going to delete it. Let's just look on fixing broken delete tasks first. Also, I had some changes in flight here. Oh, this, I was already removing it. No, this was me updating it. I can commit this. So some of these things are cleanup. Some of these things are actually changed. Like this stuff is cleanup stuff. Logic. Oh. Logic, remove, cleanup. Remove unused import. This can go back to logic, cleanup. I had const to switch task requested. And then here, yeah, I'm okay with committing this, I guess. Where's the code add? Hold on, there's code added here too. Why is it not showing up? Or there should be code added. Yeah, I don't know why it's not coming up in the diff. Is it already staged? No. I don't know. So here we're gonna go view. Switch task should use intake screen to manage tasks. I'm okay with that actually introducing the bug for now because we're not really releasing anything. And I think it's still better than it was before. Okay, now let's take a look at this deleting tasks. There's a reason why this isn't working. Delete. Okay, so let's look at remove task named. Problem is probably in here. Remove task named, yeah, if we just don't save. Save list. I think that should fix it more than likely. Now we're going to test that. We're going to go in here. We're going to look at the stuff we've got. Right. And, oh, my garbage tasks aren't showing up. Wait a sec. Why not? Oh, they're gone. That's weird. I will add some more garbage tasks. Garbage nonsense. Right? So now we've got garbage and nonsense. It should be in our file. Garbage and nonsense are in our file. And then when I go to delete nonsense and garbage, we should no longer have nonsense and garbage. Perfect. That was an easy fix. Love it. List manager, fix, deleting, items not deleting. Now there's another thing I just thought of. I don't think there's a way. Oh no. Is this a new bug? Seg fault. Or why? Oh, I think when I delete and I come back and I come in again. No, I don't know. But also, let me go here. And we've got crap. I can't delete, but that's fine because it doesn't even allow me to delete completed tasks. So I think that's fine for now. What I might do is here for completed tasks, instead of just deleting one, we can either automatically delete tasks at the end of a week, or when we delete tasks, we can delete all the completed tasks, because it doesn't make sense to delete just one, right? I mean, here I have crap. Crap shouldn't be a task at all. We should go like that and just delete it. I don't know why that other crash happened. We'll have to keep an eye on that. My guess is it has something to do with the lists changing and then something not updating. But that's cool. So we fixed that, which is good. That really needed to be done. Okay, so that's finished. We can say we finished that. Now my other broken tasks will come back, so let me rebuild again. Let me rebuild again, right? Having this output to a file instead of a database right now is actually extremely useful for the development phase of this. I'm actually really enjoying that. Where did my timer go? Oh, it went over here. No. No. That's fine. That was easy to fix. There we go. New crap in my list, some random stuff we're gonna delete. Okay, dude, I just love how fast this workflow is already. I just love it. My brain, like, when I go through these lists and I start adding tasks and pick what I'm gonna work on next, my brain just starts shooting fireworks. It's amazing. So, switch tasks to show intake, add completion shortcuts. We want to do that too. We're going to investigate why switch tasks doesn't work real quick. So So in order to do that, we're going to run again. We're going to add junk and other. And we're going to go work on something like this. We're going to hit switch task. And we need to figure out why this keeps getting back the old value. So when we select new, that should be in here somewhere. Item changed, right? We set, right, that's on the same view. Text change, item selected. When we emit, oh, this is item clicked. Current text changed. Oh. Item selected. Oh, so wait, hold on. So I think maybe what's missing is that task selected doesn't get fired. I think that's what's missing. Task selected. Yeah, that's exactly what's going on. So what we have to do is take this and wire this up to task selected somehow. So what I'll do is I'll create a lambda here for that, probably. So in here, let's go like this, chop this down. I wish there was a quick button to do this instead of having to do it manually. And then we're going to create a lambda here. Current text change. Actually, is it current text changed? Yeah, I guess so. Hold on, maybe there's a different signal we can use here. Let's check out, that's queue set. Let's check out our queue list. No. I don't have it. Let's clean up some of these tabs here. Okay. Queue list widget. And let's look at the signals that we get on queue list widget. There might also be some signals from a parent class we can use, but let's check it out. Signals, current item changed. Current row changed. That's probably what we want. And then we don't need a lambda. Right, because let's see. That's probably what we need. And I think that just works. Hold on. Current text change, intake. Task selected, sick. Okay, so this is going to be current row changed. And this is going to be intake, task selected. And then we can chomp this back up. I don't know why these are all in line and I decided to wrap the other ones. These lines are, in my opinion, too long. But sometimes chopping things down is also messy. You know, there's like no good solution to it. Okay, so now when we pick a task to work on and we start and then we go here to switch tasks, I just discovered another bug. That's another seg fault. Why? Let's see if we can repro that in debug mode. Following the same steps, I selected this, I hit start, and I hit Control I here. Ooh, task list operator, mtask sub I. Okay, so apparently we just need to do some bounds checking here. Set to do. But why isn't it in there? So show intake requested and other is the task name. Let me go show with text. We refresh lists. Oh, this is what's breaking. Refresh lists. We do clear. Wait. Switch task requested. Where does this get fired from? This doesn't get fired from here. How's that even possible? There's no call to this here. Manager.todo, manager.done. Set to do, switch task requested. So hold on, set to do, what's the index? Oh, index is -1. Oh. Well, okay, we can fix that very easily. We can fix that very easily. If I... See, this is what AI is good for. Oh, but it has to return something. Mother trucker. But it has to return something. Oh, a pen. But does the pen... Okay, so this is the actual cue list. I don't know. We should be doing bounds checking here. But at the same time... Where's my set to do? Maybe the issue is we need to bounds check here. Oh. This is task list, right? Task list doesn't have a size. It should really be happening in here. The problem is... Yeah. It does make sense to have a size. So I guess I'm okay with that. So that shouldn't happen now. Oh, no, it's not going to build. I didn't finish writing this line of code over here. No, it's going to compile because, yeah, the indentation doesn't matter. How the frig did that happen? Oh, wacky. Okay. Is that just this function failing? I was typing something, dude. Debug. Maybe it's just always not the right index. And so then that's not doing anything. So that's actually interesting. Did you see that? It was actually picking. I don't know where it was getting those from. Oh, that that's why I was getting index out of bounds. It was picking from this list, the index. I so hooked it up to the wrong list. Did I really do that, dude? Did I really do that? Item list. No, item list is the to-do list. What? Task selected. Current row selected. Let me just double check. Where's my documentation? Oops. Which desktop was on? Not this one. Oh, it's right here. Current row changed. Yeah, no, this is 100% right. If there is no current item, the current row is -1. Okay, so this might be why it was happening, which is another thing that I considered. It's like maybe we only have to worry about the -1 case. It seems like that's probably true. Like the rest, like our preconditions technically handle that, but you know, we should probably bounce check it anyway. So item list, row changed, should emit task selected. Oh look, it does pop up -1 sometimes. But so hold on. Right, right. And then we can do debug. Okay. Yeah, it's picking items from this list. How is that possible? Oh. No, I know why. I know why. I know why. We can't I know why. uh Set to do picks it from tasks. Where do we call this from? Set to do picks it from tasks. Switch task requested. Set to do index. Okay. So this is wrong. I thought I handled this somewhere, but I guess I didn't. I thought I handled this somewhere, but I guess I didn't. What we have to do here. This is not how this works at all. This is not how this works at all. We have to find the index in the to do and use that. Greater than tasks.todo. right? Oh, geez, I was where I wanted to be. Task.todo.size, right? And then tasks. Hmm. This would be another if statement. Uh, Not remove if. Hmm. I just want to find the item. Um, Queue list. First. Oh, no, no, no. Remove if. Erase if. I think I just have to manually search through it. Oh, standard find if. Okay. The most common is standard find if. So maybe they didn't implement this because it's compatible. So find if task stop begin. Right. Sorry, begin. Um, no, I don't know why. I don't know why it's doing that. Um, oh wait a second. What the hell am I doing? No, 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 no. Wait, I don't think I need to do this. I don't know why am I doing this. I think all I have to do is set it to to-dos subindex. It's gonna give me a problem because it's a const. Yeah. That might be fine. Okay, now let's try junk and finish and see if it doesn't finish. And the reason why it doesn't finish is probably because it's copied. So what I might have to do, this probably makes a copy. Well, this does make a copy. But oh wait. Yeah, this does make a copy. What I was hoping though is that we would get a reference to the original task, like the actual memory, and then complete that. So let's just see. And if this doesn't work, then I really don't know why it doesn't work. Oh wait. Yeah, no. Hold on. This is in list manager, right? Yeah. And when we finish, oh, this is where I do that thing that I was talking about, finding the task with the UUID. Wait, what? Finish at. Hmm. But if we look at list manager stub, finish current task. Current task finished. That should just work. Also, this should probably be save list. Make this all consistent. This should be the only place where we're using save file. Okay. Changing lots of things in flight is kind of risky. We can stage the commit. I'm not going to necessarily commit everything. I don't think that'll affect what I'm doing here. Now that's using Control I, which should be the same as me doing this. Well, I want to see here. Set to do to 7. Add other with this UUID A52AB. Oh, that is the right UUID. That's the exact right UUID. So it's getting the right item in memory. And then when we go here and we request finished, so we have to take a look at how that works. That probably goes to logic. Finish task requested, finish current task. So it does finish on the current task and then it hits save list. Why wouldn't that work? Okay, finished. Nope. Well, that's my 25-minute investigation of why this doesn't work. I could add a little bit more time because I do feel like I'm very close to having this actually working. Oh, because right. Just because the UUID is the same doesn't mean that the memory location is the same, right? It can still be a copy. So what's happening here is that to do this produces a safe copy. Yeah, see copy if this is producing a safe copy of the entire list, but filtered out. And so when we get it from here, we're not getting we're not getting the same one. We're getting a copy of it with the exact same information. So what I need to do here to make this work, which is also really hairy, is I need to do a find. We need to bring back that find if basically, and we need to find this item in the other list. But we can actually go tasks with UUID, and we can just pull that right out. Actually, I don't have to write that code again. I can just go like this. Forgive me, that's not how we copy that. Dot UUID, right? And then we go like that. Does that freaking work? Right, because this will already automatically get me that pointer because this is returning a pointer. But it could be null. So what we have to do, what we have to do, I think, is say if, yes, exactly. Then we set this to this. The problem is that if we don't, then we're not actually setting the task. So like, what do we do if this fails? We just silently fail. I don't know what we would do here. That should work. Yep. And now when I look at the file, yep. Okay, it works. Can I do this instead? Yeah, no, that doesn't make any sense because we're doing, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that does make sense because when we use this syntax, this variable is only available in this scope. All right. Whatever. Good enough for me for now. So we need that. We need this. Just this part. This stuff can go separately. Task list. We ended up not using that size, right? So this can actually be completely reverted. I don't know that I need this, so I'm tempted to remove size here. Right. We'll rerun this to make sure that builds. I'm pretty sure I don't use size anywhere. Yeah, it builds. Okay. So that's fine. So this is going to be intake, list manager, fix, task switching. Not persisting, newest task. Then here, this is a task list. Cleanup, use const for use const parameter for, what's this called? Index operator? This would be a list manager, cleanup, use save list, delegate to save list for saving lists instead of calling save file statically. Push that. That's good. Okay. Cool. So we've got that done. What's the next thing on my list? Why switch task doesn't work. Now we've finished that. Cool. Now we're going to switch task should show intake. Oh, that's also done. Add shortcuts for completion screen. Yeah, and then one more thing that I might want to have in this app before I switch back to game dev focus is the concept of different projects and being able to switch to different projects. And then each project would have its own to-do file. Clean up build errors. I think that's already been done. Oh, caca. Oh, I accidentally deleted something and there's no way to undelete it. I don't know what I just deleted. Oh, that's funny. So, okay, we should put something in for that too. I know what I deleted though. I deleted the one that was about shortcuts. OT add completion shortcuts. That's what I accidentally deleted. Okay, so we're going to work on adding the completion shortcuts. And let me add another task. Intake, delete should only work when to-do list is focused. I think that is a good quality of life thing because deleting stuff when you don't mean to is kind of nasty. We want to kind of prevent that. Da-da-da-da-dum. Yeah, so let's do this delete thing first. So let's look at intake. Delete. Yeah, delete selected items, right? But I think I should put the check in delete selected items, right? Or if we want to allow deleting completed items, that's probably the easier change to make. We can just say current, what is it, list? Where's my stub? Focused list. I can just do it from focused list instead. Right? Let's test this real quick. Because this will be, if this is easy to implement, this just makes more sense, I think. Rather than have it do nothing. So this allows me then to go here and delete crap. Ooh, crap's deleted. And we don't have crap anymore in our file. Okay, so we're gonna do that because that will A, make sense, and B, reduce the amount of errors that I will make. So we'll go with that. That was a pretty quick fix. It looks like this can be const. Yeah. So we can throw this in as a bonus. Delete selected items. So we can do that. And that'll be two separate commits. So first commit, we'll do that. Intake, cleanup, make delete selected items const. And then intake fix delete key deletes from to-do list when done list is selected. Now able to delete from done list. Now delete now happens from selected list. Wonderful. That was quick. Cool. So that's done. Finish. And then we're going to add completion shortcuts. So let's go to the complete view. Completed view. And we'll open that over here. Completed view. Completed widget. Set up connections. We have a separate function for this. Wonderful. I actually do kind of like this. Take a break, keep going, split button. Right. Maybe what I should do then is create yet another method. So we have set of connections. Maybe I should do set up. Actually, I'm calling it setup, but I kind of like the word init better. Because it's one character shorter and not camel case, but I don't know, whatever. Set up. We'll change it after set up shortcuts. I'd probably use this set up connections in a couple classes, right? Yeah. I don't use init anywhere. Set up hotkeys. All right, we want to call it hotkeys or shortcuts. Set up hotkeys. Okay. Member function, set up hotkeys, should be private. For some reason in this class, the functions are on the bottom. I have to make this consistent at some point. It can probably also be const. Set up hotkeys. And we'll say Q shortcut key. I forgot how to do this. Where did I do this? I have this on intake. I have this on main. Q shortcut. New Q shortcut. Okay, that's it. New Q shortcut. I forget what the parameters are. Parent this. Actually, no. The shortcut key. So what are we going to do? ASDF, right? And we'll just do it positionally, I guess. Control A. That would be command ASDF. That's fine. Create global function TR. Why does that not come in? What am I including here that I get TR from? Well, I guess if I include Q shortcut, I am including Q shortcut. Excuse me? Q shortcut, Q key event? Like which one? The Q application maybe? No, Q application wouldn't have this. I don't know who has that. Oh wait, was that it? I don't know. Let's write out the code first. Parent this. Slot. It would look something like that. Why is this not coming in? Redundant parameter. This may only be used inside a non-static member function. Oh! That's why it's not working. It's not a member function. Quick mode completed. And that should be const. No viable constructor. I don't think that's true. Wait, 1, 2, 3. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm missing something. 1, 2, 3. No, that's right. Q shortcut. Don't need Q application. Control A. This is going to be... I need to run the program to see what the options look like. Where's my mock-up? I think this is what I went with. Oh, one of them. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1 ASDF is 4 keys. But I need a button to drop these down, maybe? I mean, maybe not. Just because you can't see them doesn't mean you can't press them, right? Right? Also, I'm using control because there's no reason I can't just have the regular key press do the job here, right? So you don't even need to press control. That's big brain. I never even considered that. I don't know. Whatever. So A will be take a break. S will be split. D will be extend. And F will be finish. Take a break. So break, split, extend, finish. Let me just write that down. Break, split, extend, finish. Break. Don't know why this isn't working. Let's rewrite this. Is that not it? TR this closure end. That's wacky. Hell, it's the same thing. What do you mean? What do you mean there's no viable constructor? I think you're full of shit. That's what I think. Take a break button. Exactly. Let's just try building it, see what happens. It's probably still gonna complain, but I don't get why it's complaining. Hmm. See, I knew there was something else going on. Fail again? No matching function for call. Q shortcut. Q string. No, it's a Q widget. Off. This is also Q widget. What is different? This has a namespace in this file. This one does not. Is that breaking things? No. I'm going to put it back then. I'm lost. We're going to ask AI. The menu is totally stupid. I wanted to ask it why this isn't compiling. Why it thinks it can't find this constructor when I use the same constructor in other places. How come there's no viable? Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. I could just do it to the action instead of the click. That's fair. Right, so what I would do is quick mode completed, take a break. I think this has to be a closure. So that would be this. Or take a break as a signal. Yeah. Actually, don't know how that works. Can I convert this argument from type? Hmm. A viable constructor here is most likely from QConstructor call passing QString instead of QKeySequence. Some Qt versions don't implicitly convert QString. Using the functor lambda overload on older Qt constructor that accepts a functor lambda exists only in newer Qt versions. Overly exotic lambda capture causing deduction issues. Prefer this over reference init capture. Suggested minimal changes. That's funny, because that wouldn't work either. It would have to be this. I think it's something else. I honestly do. I don't think that's the problem. I think something else, the way I created this function maybe. It's a private function. Wait, what did I delete here? No, just empty space. Fine. Let's go here. Let's look at where it happens in the other file. Here, I'm doing it in the constructor. The other one, I'm calling a function and doing it. Why would that matter? Like if I move this into the constructor, does that fix my issues? Yes. Why? What am I looking at? What's up, Bull? We're working on some projects here. How come the Q shortcut, that wasn't it. How come the Q shortcut constructor works only in my constructor? Hey, brother. Glad to see you still working on this and continuing to share your stream. Yeah, no problem, M. Jones. Thanks for chatting in. What program is this? What program am I using, or what program am I creating? This is, what is this? This is C-Line. This is IntelliJ C-Line. And I'll show you in a sec what we're working on. I guess I can hide this while it's answering me. Unused. It can be made static, yeah, because we're not using it. So if I hit run, this should work now. Well, I don't know, because I think I took out everything in there. Don't know why this happens. That was very weird. I actually didn't press anything there, and it automatically started the wrong thing for some reason. That was very weird. That might be a new bug. Oh no, that should work. There's code in there. So it's a timer. C lion, like the animal. Rawr. C lion. The language is C++. C lion is an IDE for working with C languages, I believe. I think it's geared towards C and C++. And maybe Objective-C, I don't know. But C family languages. Like very, very closely related C languages. Mostly C and C++. So we're writing some C++ code. So I'm creating a Pomodoro timer. If you're not familiar, it's just a technique for helping you focus, right? And the timer itself is very simple. The concept of the timer is you do work for 25 minutes, and then you don't let anything at all interrupt you for that 25 minutes. That's 25 minutes of pure focus time. Then at the end of that 25 minutes, when the timer's up, you can get up, go to the bathroom, get water, do whatever you got to do. And during that time, you will set a 5-minute timer as your break time. And that's the time that you have to do your bio break and whatever. And then the idea is that every 4 iterations, you take a longer break, like a 15-minute or a 15-minute or a 20-minute break or an hour break, whatever you want to do, right? But that's the idea. So what I'm doing is I'm taking that, and I wanted something that I can use really easily with like a lot of keyboard shortcuts and stuff like that, and just kind of not have to interrupt my workflow so much to like find a program, click on the buttons, set the timer, whatever. And then the idea, what I'm trying to do right now is integrate a task list into it. So I can hit Control I here. And up here, I can add tasks to my to-do list. Oh, there's a blank one I'm going to delete. And then this right side is the done list. The left side is the things I have to do. So I can pick on a task. I can start the timer. Now this is the debug version, so it uses seconds instead of minutes, so I can test things faster. And then when the timer's up, you can finish the task or extend it or start a break. And that's kind of the gist of it. My programming knowledge is limited to QBasic and some messing around with other people's mods. Learning more is on my bucket list to do someday. Fun fact, I also started with QuickBasic. So I also did quite a bit of QB when I was younger. And then I went from QB to Visual Basic. And from Visual Basic, I then started learning C++. Was actually like the second real language that I learned, or depending on if you consider BASIC a real language. So then I went to C++, but I haven't used C++ in, 20, 20 years or so. I mostly used it academically, and I never did built anything with it. So this is me like returning back to C++ and just having fun with it and learning a lot and building this little pet project in here. But this is also supposed to help me get my work done, which is great. Yeah, Visual Basic is the next jump some of my friends made, but I never had time. That's all good. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with VB back in the day. I would say now, I think Basic was at the time a great language to learn as a first programming language. But now I think there are better options. Now I would say Python would be the equivalent of what Quick Basic was to us then. Python is like the new Basic. I would say Python, definitely Python over Basic. I think Python teaches you better habits and it reads like a natural language in much in the way that Basic does. And that's very cool. So I'd say either Basic or, sorry, either Python or JavaScript, and they're both extremely popular languages. JavaScript is very irritating though, and there's a lot of garbage. So that's why I kind of recommend as a first language Python, just because I think it's a more sane language to start with. It's just as popular, I would say, as JavaScript. JavaScript is probably a little bit more popular, but I think that JavaScript has a lot of frameworks, a lot of libraries. And if you look up how to do anything, there's like too many different ways to do the same thing. Whereas Python is a little bit more focused. The JavaScript is like the ADD kids' dream because there's so many things that you can get distracted with. But I think that's why it's problematic. My nephew's 9 and they teach him programming in school. They have special learning language for kids. Yeah, Scratch, I think it's called. My nephews were doing that too, I think. They might have other ones too, though. So people tell me, I'm like, oh, cool. What language are you learning? They're like, Scratch. I'm like, the heck is a Scratch? I'm like scratching my head. I'm like, that's cool. Like, I don't know what to say to them because I don't know anything about it, right? But I think it's like a visual programming language. So you can like click and drag things and the concepts are the same as programming, but instead of having to type things, right, you're like using flowcharts and stuff like that. What was I doing here? Oh yeah, AI. What's the deal here? Likely because you're calling new queue shortcut inside a const member function. Oh! In a const member, this has type const. Oh, so queue shortcut. I see. Expects a non-const queue object parent. A queue shortcut. Okay. Queue shortcuts constructor expects a non-const parent so that it can set up the relationship properly. Passing a const pointer is not allowed, so overload function fails. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. Oh, sneaky, sneaky. So really, the reason it wasn't matching was that one function. What did I do here? Maybe I did that. Right, and it's still going to fail because we have that there. Boom! Shakalaka. There we go. Okay, break. Oh, how did that end up there? There we go. I'd like to be able to do more with the Overwatch workshop, but I think that will be what draws me in to learn more. Hey, whatever works for you, right? Like my whole thing that I started getting involved in programming to begin with was like, hey, I want to make my own games, Um, that was my thing. And then it became like really challenging. Like back in the 90s, it was like, it was much more difficult to learn this stuff on your own, you know? Like, and I was a kid. I wasn't like an adult trying to do this. I was like a 10-year-old boy trying to learn programming on my own. Nobody in my family even knows how to use a computer. Not even everybody in my family had a computer, you know what I mean? So like it was a very different time. We didn't have like like I was on dial-up internet, and you had books that you could buy at the bookstore. You had these For Dummies books, and like the code never worked. It was total hell. But then eventually, what I did eventually was I, got into playing. I was always into playing video games, right? But then I got into PC games more, and then like modding games became like a really big thing. So during the Quake 3 era, I would say I was really big into game modding. And so I learned a lot about the Quake 3 engine. I didn't do any code stuff really, but I did do a lot of like fiddling around with the assets. You had these PK3 files, which were basically just like, I don't know, tar balls or zip files or whatever. And they had all the assets in them. And that was a really cool thing, that the engine and the assets were separate, right? And then because of that, there were a lot of games that came out that were built on the Quake 3 engine. Yeah, we were making games in high school. That's what drew us in, basically taking other people's code, then making that our own. Exactly. Like whatever kind of hacky nonsense you have to do to make things work, that is awesome. That is totally, totally awesome. So maybe what I do here is, we need more time for this. Keep going, 25 minutes. Maybe what we do here, hey, yeah, split task. Ooh, see, this is the cool thing about what AI can do. It can sometimes predict what I wanted to do. ASF. Now we're gonna add a new one. In the middle, Q shortcut. Q shortcut. Can you predict what I'm gonna do next, AI? No, you can't. You're not that smart yet. Q key sequence. Also, I don't really. Okay, the constructor does take a Q key sequence, so maybe I should use it. ASDE, keep going. I don't know how it came up with E. That's an interesting shortcut key. But there is a keep going. What does keep going button do? Keep going. There is a keep going, right? We're gonna make this D. This. I don't even use this in here, do I? I don't know if I need to capture this. Emit, keep going. Perfect. Perfect. Do I need to capture this? I do. So in order to emit this signal, I need to capture this entire object. That's fine, I think, because this is a parent-child relationship. I don't think these keyboard shortcuts are going to get fired from a different context. So I think this is all good. And that should be it. So when I go here, the tricky part is going to be remembering what these buttons do. Garbage. 1, 2, 3. Just adding some dummy tasks. So we're going to stop the timer. This is the chill. Nice. So I know that worked because it set 3 minutes to the timer. I need to do something. I need to do something to make this a break. Or maybe not. Maybe this is fine. We stay focused on remembering what the task was by just keeping it up here instead of writing break up here, you know? Or maybe it just goes and it starts the break, right? Then this is the break phase. That's done. S would be split, which is the same thing as opening up my this, right? I see. I need to make this like default select the current task though when possible. That's fine. That's split. This button would extend the time, D, right? So we continue working on this. Good. And then F would finish it. So now if I hit this, 2 shows up over here. Whoop! We accidentally finished something that we weren't supposed to. Filter open tasks. No, we already had that done, actually. That's fine. We can delete 2. We can delete crap. And we can delete garbage 1, 2, 3. Oh shit. Finish task is already, okay. Completion shortcuts, that's also now done. Did you hear about Battlefield 6 will have modding support? What's Battlefield? Battlefield is the like Civil War or World War themed games. Are they always the same theme? I don't know. I don't know if I've ever actually played it. I remember there was a game called Battlefield 1942 or something. Only one I remember. Okay, so completion shortcuts. I'm gonna go over here, stop the timer, and hit finish. Oh, it's gonna save all that crap. Oh no, filter open tasks, that's done. Yeah, so those are done. Very cool. So we're gonna rebuild over here on the left side. That is the majority of what I wanted to do. Oh, I should... how long would it take me to add a new screen? Right, I want to add a new screen that I can change projects easily. So tell me more about this modding support, by the way. I'm about to take a break, but drop it in chat. I'll be right back. I'm going to take a quick bio break. I'm going to run a quick Twitch ad. It's going to be a couple minutes. And I'm going to use the bathroom. But by the time I do all that, by the time I get done doing all that is when I'll be back. Whoa, whoa, whoa. No, no, no. Shit. Why does this always happen? Okay, hold on. We want that to go to the top. Parent is Command A. Bring that to the top. Bring that to the top. Bring that to the top. There we go. Move that over there. Actually, that's probably fine. Oh, that's actually better. There we go. I'm still trying to learn how to use this window manager. I can toggle through all my screens and stuff like that through the keyboard, which is great. All my different programs that I have open. Battlefield 6 comes out on October 10th. They are trying to compete with Call of Duty with this version. People are making it a big deal about it because Call of Duty is so big. Call of Duty is so big, but I don't think Call of Duty deserves to be as big as it is. I think it's a pretty well-made game, but I don't find it to be a particularly fun game. But that's fine. Everybody has preferences. I can't really talk shit because my games are really, really bad and not well-made either. But, I'll get there eventually. Maybe, I hope. Okay, I will be right back. We're going to pop an ad, and I'm going to take a quick bio break here. You can mute this if it's really loud and annoying. I'll be back, though. Okay, I'm back. Stumbled upon the stream here. Can I ask what I'm watching? Hey, what's up, Horizon? Beyond the Horizon. So I am working on productivity app to help keep me focused and to help me track. It's a little bit productivity. It's a little bit project management. Help me manage my work. So it's a timer that helps me keep track of how much time I'm spending on my work, but also helps me focus on my work and also helps me track how much time I'm spending on the things that I'm doing. Speaking of which, am I actually tracking time? Now that I said that, oh yeah, look at that. Completed shortcuts. Look, it's actually tracking the time, dude. This is sick. Look at this. It's tracking the amount of time I spent on everything. That's so cool. I'm so excited that I made some software that works. I know it's dumb, but that's like the very first step of getting excited about something. It's not like, hey, I'm excited because it works and I can use it. The new mod support is similar to what Fortnite did. You will be able to build your own game within the game with Godot. Oh, that's interesting. With the beta that people have played, people say is a better version of Call of Duty. They put effort into the game where Call of Duty feels like they just churn out the same. Well, that's one of the reasons why I don't like Call of Duty. The same Call of Duty game over and over. People are excited someone is challenging Call of Duty with potentially better a game. Yeah, that's my issue with Call of Duty. Is it is exactly the same thing, and there are good like that's my problem with it. But there are good things about that. There are bad things about that. I can't just say, "Oh, Call of Duty is a bad game." I mean, I literally did just say that like 10 minutes ago. But I can't just outright say Call of Duty is a bad game because they're doing the same thing over and over. Part of that is yes, they're doing the same thing over and over. Part of that is yes, it's a little bit of a money grab. All the things that probably most people are complaining about with COD. But the good thing about that, now I don't know because I don't play the game, but the good thing about that is that it allows them to polish the game. But it really is like they're just working on one game and they're just making it better and better every time. But I don't know because I don't play the game, so I don't know the detail. I don't know the detail of like what they're actually doing to make the game better. I don't know. Also, this is a very questionable looking red Solo cup. I am drinking Sprite right now. I just didn't feel like doing dishes. I actually think I already did the dishes. I thought they were dirty, but after I picked up the cup and started pouring into it, I realized actually there was a really nice glass I could be drinking out of right now. And I do prefer drinking out of glass when I can. But you know, that's okay. And here we are talking about glasses versus plastic. Okay, so these shortcut keys are done. Let me punch this in. This is completed. Enhance, add short keyboard shortcuts to completed widget actions to trigger. So we can make sentences. Cool. The modding engine for the next GTA game should be released soon. Yeah, GTA was a cool game to mod too. I used to do that in GTA 2, where you could like edit the game files and stuff like that, and you could like change how fast the cars would go, and that was like super cool. And you could change like the color of the cars or whatever. I don't know. There's like stuff that you could do to like. I mean, you could change the colors of the car by painting them, right? But I think there was like a hack that you could make certain colors more common or something. I don't remember. They are also trying to do something similar to Fortnite where you can build a game within a game. Yeah. Well, that might be them ripping off of Roblox because I think I don't play Roblox, but that's my impression of why people like it because they can just kind of do whatever they want in it. And I think there's a marketplace where they can sell them. They are targeting Fortnite creators and Roblox creators. They want GTA to be the next big. Everybody wants to be the next big thing. I want to be the next big thing. I don't know how it's going to happen. I'm probably not going to be that big of a thing, but if I can at least be a little big thing, that would be nice. Right? If I could at least be a little big thing, you know, I don't have to be a big thing or a gigantic big thing or even a medium sized big thing. I'm okay with just being a small big thing or a little big thing or a micro big thing. I don't know. Okay. So let me look into this real quick. What would I have to do? So I have this list manager. I want to have separate lists, right? Right now we just have this default list path. What would I have to do to be able to get multiple different lists on here? That would be spectacular because I have multiple different projects that I work on, and it would be great to split these out into separate files for many different reasons. Maybe the low-hanging fruit might be, instead of building the UI right now, to just allow me to change the list, which I think I do. If we look at my constructor, oh, I don't. That's crazy because file name right here is being set. Okay, so the low-hanging fruit, the quick way to do this without dumping in too much time and effort just to get started would be to have a constructor. To change the constructor, we can have a default constructor. No, we're going to have one delegate constructor that's going to do everything. And this is going to take the file name here. But what? But what? Is there a Q null string or something? Like a sentinel value or something like that I could pass a default value? Maybe the default value is an empty string. Yeah. So we can pass a string in here. It'll be 100% there, but it'll be an empty string. And then in here, right, this is not const. That's fine. We can say, hey, if the file name does not exist, we'll default it to the default task list. But we can pass this in as a command line argument. And what that'll allow me to do is two different things. Again, without creating a UI for this, it'll let me create multiple task lists, and it'll let me have a separate one for development versus production, which would be great. And then it'll just let me start the app, and I'll have to restart it, which will be a little bit hairy. And we'll just give it the name of the file each time. So that's fine. That's fine. I think that's perfectly good. So, unfinished current task. Yeah. So let's start that change. I think that's the smallest change that we can make, is to go here and say we're going to pass a Q string. Doesn't have to be const. I think what we said for Q string is that copying Q strings is okay. Although my other stuff here doesn't do that. Ooh. That's fine. And we'll go like this, and I'll say, oh, right. And then if file name dot is empty, and then, oh, I see what's going on here. Foreshadowing. That is weird that I did do this. So what we're gonna do, actually, we'll do this in 2 steps. Can I do this in 2 steps at once? Yes, I can go like this, and we can rename this to underscore file name to meet the convention of the rest of the file. And then we don't need that. And then what I can do is when I stage these changes, I can do them both separately. So let's just run this and make sure we didn't break anything. Right? Now when I hit intake, my stuff should come up, and it does. Lovely. We can even test 1, 2, 3, just adding new tasks. Checking my file to see if it gets saved. 1, 2, and 3, here they are. We can close this. We can come back here. What does it not like about this? Constructor. Optional public constructor for testing. Oh, that's my documentation. Yes. What does it not like? Non-explicit converting constructor. Oh. Yes. I can spell the word explicit if I try hard enough. Wait, does it come first or last? I guess if you're not first, you're last. So I guess it comes first. Explicit. There we go. Because we don't want strings automatically converting into list managers. That would be really weird. And I don't think this needs the word explicit. I think it just has to be in the stub over here in the header file. Cool. Okay. So that's wonderful. Double check it. This should work. This is a commit right here. Atomic commits. This is great. Right? 4. Check the file. 4. Lovely. That is an atomic commit. So that's actually 2 atomic commits, because the first thing we're going to do, is we're going to make this change to make the file name underscored. And then we're going to use this. Right. So that's going to be the first change. Commit list manager, clean up, make rename file name member to file name to maintain code. What's the word I'm looking for? Convention. Right. Then the next commit is this. Look how simple this is. List manager, enhance, inject file name, defaulting to default. Ooh. Inject file name, use default file, use default task file when empty. Perfect. And now the next change that we're going to make is we're going to add it to the command line interface. So I don't remember what I called this. Command line. I called it command line. That's a very easy name to remember. For some reason I didn't. So we have parse, and it returns this timer options. You know, it's sad because it's called timer options, but we're going to put task things in it too, but that, you know, it is what it is. We might just rename it later. I'm not going to change it right now. Timer options is just a struct, actually. There's no code for this. There's no code for this. So what we're going to say here is QString. Oh, this is our first non C++ thing in here. So QString file name. I don't know if I like this. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's kind of the way it works everywhere, so it is what it is. So then we're going to go to our command line. CPP, we have a parse. Well, this is the constructor. Const q command line option. This is going to be called file name option. And we're going to have the name of it is going to be, oh, actually file name. Oh, true. It's not going to be file name. Oh, dear. Conundrum. Do we pass the file name there's two ways I can do this. I can pass a file name that would have to be a full path to a real file. And then passing the full path to the real file, my headset just died. Passing a full path to the file means that gives me the advantage of, well, number one, it's much more loosely coupled. There's no idea of projects, just a file. And then that file could be anywhere, which is kind of an advantage. It doesn't have to be in a specific location, which means I can take that file, for example, when I'm working on a project, and that file can become part of that project's code base. So I can take my task list as a file and I can drop it into, for example, if it's, you know, yeah, I think that's a good idea. The disadvantage of that is having to pass in the full file name. The reason that's a disadvantage is because if the program is not installed to a system location, or I can just, you know, call it from the command line, then getting the full file path every time is a little bit annoying. But that's fine. I'm going to change this tasks file. Tasks from, and we'll call this tasks from. Is there a -f? I think -f would work really well for a flag. F tasks from. And whoa. Read tasks from file. Oh, lovely. Value name. File name? I don't know. Default value. Parser.add option, task from file. Then we have to parse it out. That's right. See, this is what AI is useful for, is the autocomplete. Const expression pointer cannot have non-literal type const timer options. Oh. There's no default value, and that's fine. We can set one, but is that because it uses QString? Default initialization of an object of const type without a user provided default constructor. I'm guessing that's why. Const expression variable cannot have a non-literal type. What is a non-literal type? I get it. There's no way for me to set a literal type to this. Why? Also, default timer options. Do I actually use that? Oh, I do. Huh. But what I might be able to do is just create a constructor. Does that not work? I know it's redundant. I didn't ask you that. Oh, it can't be a const. I get it. It can't be a constant expression because there's no compile time for this. The Q string can't be constructed. It's not. There's no compile time safety. I think this will work though. I think that'll be fine. Now the test here is going to be to make sure that everything still shows up the same way. When I hit this, my task list should show up. It does. And now, the beauty, let's go here and edit this. And we're going to say test.tasks. Right? Now when I run it, task list should be empty. Oh, no. Why? Why? Oh, I know why. I know why. We did this, but we're not passing it. Hold on. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. What I have to do is I have to look where this is called from, which is probably main.cpp. There it is. There it is. And then when we create main window with options, okay, so it's going to be the main window constructor. Is the main window constructor? Actually, it's probably the logic constructor because the logic takes the timer options as well. And then when we create list manager, oh, no, list manager is required. So wait, hold on. List manager. Huh? Wait. Logic options parent. Oh, because in my here, I give it a default to the singleton instance. So, we still want to use the singleton. We still want to use the singleton, however, we want the singleton to load that file. Right? The whole purpose of having this as a singleton was, yeah, for the sharing, but for the convenience of sharing, and so that we could use this everywhere. But if I have to pass in a file name, then this suddenly becomes inconvenient. So what I need to do is list manager needs to have a public function to load a list. Right? So it'll load this one by default, but then we can say, I'll have a void load task list, QString file name, and we'll go here and we'll say file name equals file name and load list. That's right. And then in my my logic here, we're going to say, oh, two things need to be done here. I gotcha. So this is actually going to come down here. Right? Because we still want to do that error checking. And all we're going to do here is say load task list file name. Right? Because we want that same error checking every time we call load task list. And what we can also do, or No. No, and. What? File name. Oh. No. What I want to say is if file name equals file name, return. Because we're not going to change. That's the same file. We're not doing anything different. I think that's okay. I think that's okay. And then in my logic, we're going to say list manager. Boom. Because this will be default empty string. So this won't do anything. If the file name's the same, it's not going to change anything. If the file name's empty, oh, we need to change the order of this. Yes. So this will check for empty file string and override it with this. And then in addition to that, if the file name is the same name, so this will convert the empty string into the default name. And then we can say, okay, well, if the name is a default name or if the file names are just the same anyways, don't change anything. And then we load list. This should work. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll find out. It's all part of the adventure, you guys. How? Ah, I was wrong. Why was I wrong? Okay. Load task list file name. That's fine. Oh, wait a minute. List manager. Modoro logic. It might just be a cache issue. It might be a cache related issue. So, what might be happening? Ah, bummer. Total bummer. Total bummer. Is it a total bummer? Let me think. What I'm thinking is I might want to maybe change our instance to take a Q string, which defaults to an empty string, so we can still use it with nothing. But where we create this in our main window, I think we would have to pass in the manager. Yeah, because here's what's happening. Intake gets created here. Gets created after this. When we show intake, refresh lists should go to here, but this doesn't refresh the list either. I got it. So what I could do... load list. What does load list do? Oh yeah. There's actually output here that we could be checking. Loaded list. Where does that show up? It doesn't? No, it should. Yeah, loaded list from default.task list. Actually, the fact that it's showing that message so many times is a little bit alarming. Loaded tasks from. That's one. Oh my god. It happens 1, 2. Why? 1. Oh, opening file. Loaded. Where does the opening file come from? View task lists from file. Oh, I see. Yeah, that comes from here. That makes sense. Was it just not getting the file name? That's also possible. Wait. Tasks from. Oh, that's right. Maybe my F switch isn't working. Let's go to my project directory real quick. We're going to go to, I think it's this one, cmake build debug. F, tasks from file. Oh, test.task list. Look, it's here. It's getting made. I don't understand what's happening. Oh, I think I made this manually. Oh, I did. That's not the same file. Test.task list. The one I said, well, I did say here. Right, but it's still not using it. So why is it not using it? Probably because this gets loaded here. So let's go here. Load task list, empty string, load task lists here. So the second one is actually this. Why does it say opening file this? Oh. I feel like an idiot. Okay. So what I should be doing, I'm gonna go like this. We're gonna change that in both places. Oh, sorry. That means I have to change it in 3 places. What we're gonna do here is say file name. Otherwise, file name equals file name. Consider passing by const reference. Now it should be blank. Oh, baby. So wait, hold on. Can I, maybe I can, let's try putting this back. Maybe this does work. Maybe there's no problem with me doing this here. But over here, we want to change it. Maybe this is okay. Oh, my timer wasn't running. Hey, look, it works. Okay. Sorry. We don't know that. It looks like it works. New tasks here for great file. All right, and then we're going to go here. Look, test.tasks. New tasks here for a great file. Sick. Project.task list. Oh, yeah. Where did all these other ones come from? That's fine. All right, now if I go here, it's called test.tasks. That's fine. And we run it. So I'm going to do new test. Right. We're going to go here to check it on the command line. Cat test.tasks. Lovely. And then when we run it again, we should see those same tasks. And if I go here and I complete one, and then I close it and then run it again, everything just works. Cool. So that was the low-hanging fruit of being able to set this through the command line. Now, do I like the fact that I load two different files? Not really. So probably what I should be doing, I don't know. Maybe I should have a way of pulling the instance with a given file. So maybe I should add that to the instructor. I don't know. Probably what needs to be happening is main window. Guess the options. Probably what needs to happen. Actually, what's weird about this, in all reality, what's weird is that main window is creating its own logic. Maybe logic should be created in main, right? Like the ownership should technically be flipped. It should be the model that owns the widget and not the other way around. But that's probably a pretty big change. But just moving the creation of this over, not a huge deal. So let's commit this. So what do we do here? We did a bunch of stuff here. List manager, enhance, add random file loading support. And then this will be command line, options, logic, add, custom task list file support via command line, option -f. By main window, add to do, I don't like doing this, but maybe move logic creation to Usually don't like committing that, but sometimes it makes sense. I just don't want to forget. I'm the only one that works on this. It might still get buried, but we can all, set aside some maybe weekly time to do that. Okay, so with this, I can now go in, and when I rebuild this, I give it files for different projects. Which for now, all those files could just be in the working directory of the program itself, and that's not a big deal. On the other hand, we could also make it, you know what you know what I would have to do? Be list manager from file. But then I would have more than one static instance if I did that. Maybe? I don't know. I have to think about how that's going to work. But in effect, I've made this now more testable, number one, and number two, it works. So even though we load like two different lists, fact of the matter is it does work. And realistically, yeah, I guess the next logical thing would be to remember the last list that we used. So that way, when we eventually do the UI version of this, it'll just remember the last file that you loaded, and then you can switch files based on maybe recent files. Maybe it won't remember just the last one file. It'll remember a last, list of 10 files or so. Yeah, that sounds good. Okay, so with that, I'm going to delete all those. I'm going to restart OpenTomato over here. And wait, what time is it? 12. Oh my God. I can't tell time anymore because the clouds are out. And that completely messes with my circadian rhythm. But this is good. This is good. We got a lot done today. I've probably been on for 3 hours, 2 hours. Okay. But I should be eating lunch now. So what I should probably do is maybe eat lunch. And then I'm trying to think by the time I come back from lunch, it'll be like 1 p.m.-ish. But now I can use this. This is good. So we'll either come back with a game dev work stream where we'll go back to Godot and we'll work on finishing up our game in Godot. Or maybe when I come back, we'll do a game stream, or I don't know. I got to figure out. I got to see what time it is and kind of like prioritize some things, which I should have done when I woke up, but I'm just like so foggy in the morning. But yeah, no, this is good. Okay. I'm going to hop off and I'll be back later. Catch you guys later. Peace.